Hello and welcome to Dingle All The Way. I'm Simon,
And I'm Lizzie.
and today we're going to talk you through the past couple of weeks in the village of Emmerdale, which is what we always do.
It's the only thing we do, unfortunately.
It's the only thing we know how to do. But yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's the only thing either of us have ever done.
And that's why we're not in serious contention for CBEs, but maybe next year. We've both been talking about how we don't have masses of notes, and I have just revealed a little sneak preview to Lizzie that my first note is just the word petulant, and I have no idea what that's about.
Yeah, I wonder
Someone
who
was
that
petulant.
was. Who was that in relation to?
Who could it have been? Maybe
If it was your
Paddy.
first note, I guess it would be like 2 weeks ago.
I'd love to say that my notes are that orderly, but sometimes I just open my notes app and just write stuff in anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I see how it is.
So I guess these past couple of weeks you've had like the aftermath of Moira's arrest and stuff. We've had Bear having, I'd say, undiagnosed and maybe undecided mental conditions. They seem to vary.
Yeah, I really thought that he had dementia, but maybe he just is traumatized and processing things. It's very difficult to say. Is Hargreaves like licking your microphone, by the way?
He's not. Does it sound like he is?
Yeah, Hargreaves is a cat, by the way, for anybody listening.
He is
Yeah,
getting
he
very much
sounds
in
like
the
he's up to
way.
something.
Do you want to settle down, sweetheart? That was again to Hargreaves. I'm not patronising Lizzie.
It's good to clarify these things.
Yeah.
Also, we must make sure that our laughing doesn't get in the way of our content this time.
Yes, thanks so
Just,
much to the reviewer who just said the laughter get in the way of the content. It's like what content?
do you really think
The
we have
laughter is the
anything useful
content.
to share? Like, that's probably the biggest compliment we've ever had. Someone thinks we're worth
It's
listening to.
true.
It's lovely.
Yeah, they're just desperate to get to the factual summaries.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you saying?
We're talking about Bear's mental health conditions. So he's like, I got generic trauma, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. My main question about Bear is that the police officer keeps calling him Mr. Howson, but in the credits he's credited as Bear Wolf, which is an unusual name. What's his name and why?
Well, I'd never come across the Howson thing, but Beowulf I do know was his like wrestling name. So
Okay.
I think neither Bear nor Wolf are his actual names. Although Bear is quite a popular name to call children now, isn't it, by celebrities and such?
Yeah, celebrities and sort of like latter day millennials,
Yes,
like the Latter Day Saints in a way.
in some ways.
Yeah, I don't really know where to start with Bear. I mainly just feel very sorry for him because I think he was obviously in modern slavery and trapped by that and traumatized by that. But his life since doesn't seem to have got much better because Paddy by Paddy by trying to protect him is also trapping him. Like thankfully no longer in a random Airbnb, but it does seem to be that he's just like popping headphones on him and like hoping that he'll dissociate. And you're like, you could at least like take him for a drive to Ilkley Moor or something and like I don't know, let him see the world. He's just like trapping him and then other random people keep coming in to interrogate him. Like, why is Kane getting involved? Calm down, Kane.
Yeah, it does seem like Paddy is in some ways worse than Ray, but I mean, it was interesting that Bear did did try and escape. Well, did escape the first random house he was locked in with the classic billowing curtains through open window situation. That again,
Mm.
this elderly malnourished man, not only a would be well, not no would be an actual murderer. He does achieve his goals. He sets smart goals and he achieves them. And, but apparently, he can just like abseil out of first floor windows. Um, but there was a great line, maybe it was even yesterday's episode, which I know Paddy is a vet rather than a doctor, but I don't think this is a recognised medical symptom. He's not coping. Look at him. He's got Kenny Rogers on a loop.
I
So
know. I love
that's
that.
something to everyone. That's something to keep an eye out for. That was actually a special moment in Kenny Rogers Loop Awareness Week. Just be aware if your loved ones are listening to Kenny Rogers on a loop, they're not coping.
Yeah, it's a big red flag, and it's one that goes unnoticed a lot, actually.
Truly, truly.
I did enjoy that he had like old style headphones. Like I remember those headphones so well from my childhood of like just a sort of thin metal band over the top of your head and then like a lot of sponge at the bottom. And that is, I think, the kind of headphones that Paddy would have lying around his house.
That's true. I recently got new work headphones at work because I dropped my previous ones caught in a cup of tea and then they
Oh,
malfunctioned.
that's so vintage you.
Isn't it? And they're like they're sort of noise cancelling like padded ones, but how This is just a sidebar, clearly, but how do people wear those with glasses? I just don't understand. They're so like oppressively pressing on my ears that the glasses better get a look in.
Oh, and you do need them.
I need them to see. I want to see and hear.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't ever had noise cancelling headphones. I have got a pair of loop earplugs for noisy situations, but the only time I've ever worn them, I've just been like so able to hear everything that's going on in my own head that it's been completely impossible. Like I don't know if I'm using them wrong or if my bone structure is wrong or something, but I couldn't really hear what was going on because, like, every time I took a bite of my food, it was deafening. I was like, "I don't
oh,
get this.
horrible.
Like, what how does this work?" So, if anybody successfully uses loop earplugs while, like, eating a meal, would love to hear from you. Am I doing it wrong or are they doing it wrong? I don't know.
But yeah, it's nice to know that Bear is not interested in Bluetooth. He is sticking to physical software? No, hardware.
Yeah,
Hardware.
hardware. Clues in the name, I guess. Yeah, I guess the bigger thing on my mind is, like, Paddy obviously wants to protect Bear, which you would want to do, but he's just totally aware that Moira has gone to prison for like all of this murder and stuff. Why is he happy for that to be the case? Why isn't he like, you know what, maybe the truth should just come out? And I know I basically say this every episode. And maybe Emmerdale is just not for me because I'm just stressed all the time about people hiding the truth. Why is that happening?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in this case, it's so his dad doesn't accidentally reveal that he's a murderer. I guess is his MO. Um,
Yeah, I
that's not
do
what MO
see
means. I'm
that.
sorry, but he does remind me. I keep thinking of him like a little chihuahua. He's like just like snapping at anyone who comes in, including the police, who seem. I mean, I know Bear's not been arrested, but the police seem very okay with Paddy just interrupting every single question they ask and saying, "Oh, it's been too long." It's like it's literally been 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like every time the police open their mouths, like, don't you think you've asked him enough? Like you've just literally asked him how his day's going. Like
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. But on the bright side, haven't had so far to deal with that coming off of Opia's storyline that I was so fearful about.
yeah, I wonder whether that's just not gonna happen. I hope not.
He's just gone cold turkey.
Yeah, and he maybe that's why he's so agitated.
Well, true, it would give you a real itchy feet, wouldn't it?
I think that's the main thing. Yeah, so I don't really know what's gonna happen now. Like, presumably Moira won't be in prison long term.
Well, this black eye does make me think we're going to have to sit through a prison brutality storyline.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, one thing that I did quite enjoy was a scene at the wool pack where Paddy's like, "Have you heard about the bodies at the farm?" And Rona goes, "Yeah, that's why we're here, to find out what's going on, having just arrived with Marlon." And you think, why were you like, I have to get to the bottom of the bodies at the farm. I'll go to Marlon's place of work where he always like that's not the reason you've gone. You've gone because like Marlon has a job there. And like if you need to find out about bodies at the farm, you just like ring people who know about it. I guess maybe I'm underestimating the fact that the Woolpack is just like the community hub. But it did seem like an odd script writing moment to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think the village WhatsApp group is ablaze with theories. They're just
We
like,
don't hear enough about the village WhatsApp group. I want more.
yeah, we need more of what's going on there. And if it's anything like any of the like local Facebook groups I'm in, one person will have been like trying to sell their onions or something, and then someone will have like veered that conversation sharply onto murder. Well, it must be interesting to actually have genuine things to talk about in a village because I was in my village like neighborhood watch WhatsApp group, and eventually I left it because all it was people just messaging, being like, "I've seen a van." It's like, well, I didn't know what I meant to do with that information. It's like, seems fine.
Were they like troubled by the vans they were seeing?
Yeah, basically, I think it's if they saw any vehicle they didn't recognize, they'd assume that they'd come to like smash and grab.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
and like rural theft, like rural burglary is a thing. Like the house opposite me did get burgled a few years ago, which is quite unnerving. But I mean, I don't. I think it's just Amazon delivery drivers for the most part. Not who are doing the burglaries, who are in the vans. To be clear,
That is their MO, and that is the right way to use that word.
yeah,
I guess though in Emmerdale, if you see a van, it probably is bad news. Like something is probably
that's
gonna
true.
pop off. Even if it's just Caleb, the fact that he's there means there's gonna be a crime.
Something's going to go wrong, and that's why no one thought to alert the fact that there was a van in the street with a dead body, and they're like, "Oh, it's
It's a normal
just
day.
it's a normal day. Caleb and or Jay are going to kick off."
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh,
Yeah, I feel like the police. I just have so many questions for the police in the last 2 weeks of like, what are you doing? They go into every interview with Moira just like obsessed with the fact that she's like guilty until proven innocent to them.
yeah.
And it's not fair.
No, they truly. I mean, I guess Celia is dead, so they can't question her as such. But they really do think they do seem yeah they seem to think that she can't possibly be responsible for all these things, despite knowing the number of other things she is responsible for. They're like, well, we draw a line at her walking into Maura's house. Like, sure, the rest of it she did,
Mm.
but
She
she wouldn't
wouldn't
plant evidence.
possibly. Yeah, it's not something she's into personally. Surely all of those IDs will have fingerprints on as well.
Yeah, I guess they could use her dead hands for fingerprint checking if need be.
Yeah, that's true. They would need her dead hands and Ray's dead hands.
Luckily, they got them to hand.
When they took them, what am I saying? Oh yeah, when they took them off the slaves, they probably weren't wearing gloves. They would have fingerprinted them.
Oh, I see what you mean. Where are all the other slaves?
I don't know. Sure, maybe one of them's gonna come out and be like, "Hey," as in come out sort of hiding rather than in a sexuality way. It would be a fun side plot. Um,
Yeah, unexpected, but
Still
important.
important. Maybe one of them's going to emerge and just be like, "By the way, we've never even heard of Moira. It was all Ray and Celia."
Yeah, because I guess they were all being transported to this other base, but when both the people who were doing the transporting were murdered, did they just go there anyway? I don't know. Do they? Occasionally, we get hints that there is a much wider criminal operation, but more often we get hints that
Yeah,
there isn't.
I wouldn't be surprised if Graham knows some stuff. Because wasn't Graham at one point talking about how Celia and Ray are part of this wider thing, and that's how he got wind of it all?
Oh
Like
yeah,
maybe he will be like the rest of the slaves are now in this place.
yeah, and I guess that brings us on to what is arguably the main storyline of the past couple of weeks, which is Graham.
Yeah, Graham. I just I'm so confused by the Graham hype. I find him kind of like amusing, but in no world would I be able to take him seriously if I met him. Can you imagine Graham doing a weekly shop and just being like,
Oh god,
"Yes, I needed bananas, but these are not ripe enough." Like
yeah,
you
be
just
exhausting.
it'd be exhausting. He wouldn't be able to hold down a job because everyone would just be like, "You're not a real person."
And yeah, and I've seen like people say he just acts everyone else out the water. I might have said that in the last episode. It's like I don't get it. Every line he says is so annoying.
It kind of feels like we're watching an American drama now. Like the goalposts have
Yeah.
shifted and we're now being asked to suspend our disbelief in a new, fresh way.
Yeah, I loved Marlon mocking his voice. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really nice. And my favourite moment, I think, from the whole of the last 2 weeks is when Graham arrives in the pub. Everyone's like, "What the heck?" Including I didn't really know what was going on with the dynamic of like, "Aren't you sorry for what you did to Ryan?" until he just went, "I am sorry I locked you in a shed."
Yeah, I have no idea what that's about, but it's nice to know that Ryan at some point in the past had like actual things to do on screen, which has
Yeah,
been a
he
while.
once upon a time had some screen time. But yeah, I don't get the Graham hype and we're seeing a lot of him
And there's a lot of it was doing the same explanations over and over again. Like pop it on the WhatsApp group, be like, "Look who's back." Then you don't need to have that same scene endlessly where
over and
he's like,
over.
"So yeah, no, I wasn't dead actually. I just again my SAS training means I can lie really still, so don't worry about it." I did
This
enjoy when
reminds
she's
me
like,
of
"We buried your body." It's like, "I think I was cremated." That was a good
I
line.
think I was cremated. Yeah, he does need like sort of just a crib sheet. When so a couple of years ago, my housemate and good friend V like fell over on some gravel and it meant that she had like a graze on her face, which was quite
Oh.
nasty. And then the next night was her own birthday party. And she had already sort of just got a bit sick of saying the same thing over and over again, like, "Yeah, it looks really bad. It's actually like kind of a boring story. I just fell over on some gravel. Yeah, it looks like this, blah blah blah." So I just made her a small sign and she hung it round her neck for the evening, being like, "I don't wanna have to explain it again. Here's the FAQs on why I look like this. It's not
FAQs.
a big deal. Let's just have a good evening." And maybe that's what Graham should have done, like, "Here's my FAQs. Yes, I died, except I didn't. I was just lying very still for a long time."
Yeah, and I think what I would enjoy is if he did those FAQs and in fact, the whole character, maybe just like 50% more camp. I think if it was like camp villainy, that'd be quite fun. I think because he's
Mm,
playing it quite like deadly serious most of the time. I mean, back onto the police making unusual choices. I did think it was odd that he was like taken to the police station for the crime of being alive. like, as, as they point out,
yeah.
like it's not actually illegal to be alive.
I guess there are kind of legal ramifications for the fact he did fake his own death because he allowed Marlon to go to prison, and so it's like he allowed a miscarriage of justice.
But I mean, is what's the actual crime there? It's not his fault if the police like don't actually check there's a dead body.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it is the police's fault for not checking his pulse at any point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know how long he was using this as SAS training to lie still for, but I don't know if you watched The Traitors. It does remind me a lot of Rachel's FBI training. That was clearly like a Facebook quiz she did once, but
Yes.
maybe it is the same thing for Graham. He just did like popped up on Facebook being like, "How long can you lie still for?" With like some sort of animated AI man being like, "If you can lie down for 0 to 10 seconds, sorry, you're not in the SAS. 11 to 20 seconds, maybe 21 plus seconds. Congratulations, you're in the SAS. Click this link."
That's so good. One thing I did enjoy seeing on Reddit this week was someone who started a post. So when Graham died slash held his breath for a while, like, yeah, that is exactly what he did.
yeah. Is it okay? I mean, again, we do recognize that we're just going to move on and pretend none of this happened. But I did like Dawn's take on it because I often think this in soaps when people come back from the dead that people tend to be just very people tend to be very angry about it. And like, if someone I love came back to the dead, I would be like hurt that they hadn't mentioned it. But also, I think my overriding thing would be just joy that they were alive.
Yeah, if it's someone you cared about, you'd be like, "Oh, it's nice that you're here."
Yeah, I mean, if it's some random person in the village who I didn't really know, like Graham is seemingly to most of these people, I'd be like, oh, okay. But if it was like someone I regarded as a father, e.g., my father, for example, then I would just be like, oh my gosh, Dad, you're alive. Let's cover the whys and wherefores later.
Yeah, I guess you would end up feeling mixed about it, but I do see that you would hope there was some sort of positive, and that does seem to be where Joe has landed overall, and now nobody can
Which is
understand
nice.
why, because everyone's like, "Well, why do
Yeah.
you want him here?" So in a lot of ways, Joe can't win.
So true. I mean, Dawn also was like, if my dad came back, I'd just be thrilled. It was like, can we make an exception for your dad, who like delighted when he died?
Something I really enjoyed watching was like visual signs of struggle through the wardrobe department, in that
Okay.
when when Joe was like not coping with Graham coming back and didn't know what to do, the only really way you could tell was that he was at home in tracksuit bottoms, um and just sort of sitting on the sofa, and then that was when Dawn was a bit like, maybe you could try and see the bright side of this. And then the other one was Ruby when she was really worried about Anya. Um, the visual way you could tell was that in her own home she wasn't wearing shoes, she was just in socks.
She's brinking. She's on the brink.
And both her and Joe just looked obviously fantastic other than that.
Yeah.
You're like, he's in trackies and you're in socks. Something's going down.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Joe has got incredibly expensive designer trackies, that who you never wear to do any form of
Yeah,
exercise. But
probably.
um, it's funny how generally for women in the show, a huge sign of them not coping is not wearing mascara. That's like the rest of the face completely made up, but no mascara, therefore
Yeah.
not doing well.
It was incredible the glow up that Dawn had when Evan got out of hospital and she started having an affair.
Yeah.
She went to Paris and she just started looking fantastic.
We put some pep in her step. Yeah, bless her when she was allowed to like wash her face. That must have been nice.
It's a real bonus for her. Yeah, something else that I noticed about Home Farm, not just the tracksuit bottoms.
Mm,
Kim's got so many enormous jars of like granola and muesli and stuff.
interesting.
And I think they're inspired by the Traitors because they're the same. It's like this IKEA jar that like I think they hold like 3 liters. I've got a couple of them myself. And then they've bought a wooden lid with like a leather sort of like handle on the top of it, which is quite cute, but I imagine very difficult to wash. And that's taken up a lot of my brain space when I've been watching. But yeah, it's the same ones that they have on the Traitors, and I thought, oh, someone's been inspired. So that was a nice
That's
touch.
lovely to see. Yeah.
Thank you.
If I own if I owned a house that big, I don't know if I'd spend as much time in my kitchen as they seem to. It's like you must have at least 3 reception rooms that you are not spending time in. But I guess
Yeah,
those
that's
reception rooms
true.
are overstuffed with cushions. Maybe they're just too difficult to be in.
Yeah, when there's that many cushions, you do end up sort of being foisted off your own sofa by them.
Yeah.
There's no real
I wonder
space
if
for
I
you.
wonder if Kim's making her own granola as well. Like I don't or maybe like Lydia
Mm,
pops some in. She's like, I'll pop an extra £5 on the bill and I'll just make some granola for you.
I don't know. I think if anyone in Home Farm is making their own granola, surely it's Gabby, and she's been away.
Oh yeah, Gabby would love to, like because
Mm,
she's supposed to be this businesswoman in business, although I don't know what her job is currently. But so maybe she is just doing granola
a
between jobs.
businesswoman in business.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
she's a BIB.
She's a VIB. What business does she do? Does she? She doesn't work at the wedding place, does she?
Isn't she at the Hyde?
Oh gosh, she deserves better than the Hyde.
Oh yeah. What does she do? Should I do a quick Google?
Yeah, I mean, who knows if anyone knows?
I
Maybe
mean,
Gabby's been just pretending for years to have a job.
I guess nobody in Emmerdale really does have a job. Where does Gabby work?
Have you put Emmerdale in there? Are you just hoping you'll find a random Gabby? It's like Gabby
Yes, I
Logan works at
have.
sports quizzes. Or whatever.
Hi, everybody. It's just Lizzie here. I'm editing the episode, and yeah, just a little editorial note from me. At this point, we Googled Gabby's employment history for quite a long time, and Simon's cat sort of started taking a bath like on the microphone, and I just decided to cut all of that. So we'll come back in with our conclusions here.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we think she did work at Take a Bow, which I will say I've always thought was just called Take a Bow and didn't understand why that was the name of a wedding thing. So it's nice to finally get to the bottom of that.
Oh yeah, it's clever wordplay.
Yeah, so she used to work there and now we think is at the Hyde. And I can picture her in one of those aprons.
I guess so, but at one point she was super into like wearing business suits and just like trailing around after Kim.
Yeah,
So I thought maybe she'd be in whatever sort of anonymous businesses Kim and Joe are in.
yeah, I would truly love to know what business Kim and Joe get up to. It doesn't appear to be anything tangible other than not investing in a solar farm or something.
Yes, which we made a lovely like 3-slide PowerPoint about.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of Joe's business concerns are obviously around getting horrible farmland. That seems to be his métier.
Yeah, and that is still the reason that Moira is in prison, that he was desperate to get a field. Presumably, like, he could just buy a field somewhere else. He's got loads of money.
You think,
What?
wouldn't you? And
Well, actually, he doesn't have loads of money, does he? Because he had to give it to the kidney doctor.
oh, that's true. And then why doesn't Robert also just say like, if you're going to blackmail my sister for killing someone in self-defense, I'll just bring up that you stole a kidney. But I guess there's so many people blackmailing each
Yeah.
other for things. It's like once you take this Jenga brick out, the whole tower's coming down.
That is very true. Yeah.
Just in one fell swoop, the entire village will be arrested. I did. Speaking of Joe, I think it was quite funny. It was a couple weeks ago, or beginning of the period, and it was just really an excuse for him to not quite see Graham when he popped into a domestic animals vet to ask Rona for advice on buying a horse. Which
Oh, yeah, that Kim was like, I don't want a horse with thanks.
he also was like, Rona, you can't tell anyone, and then instantly went and told Kim himself. So but like, I mean, equine vets and I'm sure most equine vets, or indeed farm vets, are not the same as the domestic animal vets because they just don't have time to do both. But in Emmerdale, obviously, they managed to slot them all in despite never going to work. But like the vets I go to with my cat, I'm sure are not going to local farms because they're like 24/7 booked with local cats and dogs.
There are quite a lot of mixed practices. My sister used to work in one,
I feel like you've
but
told me that before, actually.
Yeah, I think you would have more than 2 members of staff, is my takeaway
Yeah,
point.
and you'd maybe pop into
Um,
work, but now and then. But I guess yeah, okay, fine. I guess Joe could go, but I don't know really what his questions were, other than like thoughts on a horse. That
yeah,
seemed to be the
have you
entire
ever
quiz.
encountered a horse?
If you could point out a horse on this diagram to me, that would really be a boon.
It did confuse me that Kim wasn't at all interested in having a horse that was related to her beloved horse. Like, you would think that she might just be a bit more into that.
Although I do think, I mean, this is not what she was doing, but there's some people who use the DNA of their dog to like make a new dog that is the same DNA as their previous dog.
Yeah.
Speaking as someone who has an identical replica of the same DNA, I'm just like, it's not going to guarantee the same personality. Could
Yeah,
just be a
that is
different dog that looks
true.
quite like your previous one.
Yeah, because like Colin doesn't care about period properties, and that shakes me.
Yeah, and it
And
shapes me. So, like, these are. He certainly doesn't care about Emmerdale. Although it was quite fun that when we were together last weekend, we introduced our friend Ellie to Emmerdale, which does not seem to have become a lifelong passion for her. But as you know, my dad messaged saying that he'd watched it for some reason.
yeah, I would
Um,
love to know what on earth inspired him now to watch Emmerdale. And what was his comment again? Something about how many
oh,
characters there were.
yeah, it said exciting and confusing, 20 plus characters, and it is so my dad to just count the characters. But what is also very dad coded is not to answer any follow up questions. So I don't know why he watched it, and I will
And I
never know.
think it's probably something he will take to his grave.
He certainly doesn't seem to have continued watching either. So,
Yeah,
but it
and
was
that's
funny that
fair
you
enough.
two newbies we knew on Friday, both dipping in for an episode largely around Graham explaining why he was alive.
And were my parents watching with us as well? Or was it just you, me, and Ellie? I think my parents maybe watched.
I think your mum sort of popped in and out. I don't remember your dad being there, but maybe
Yeah.
because they're like just they watch one every like 6 months or so if you're there. But
Yeah, when I'm at my parents' house, sometimes they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't have to watch TV on your own," and so they watch it with me, but I'm like, "You're not gonna like this." And I don't think they do.
oh, but they're the sweetest souls alive, so they will sit through it for you.
They are very sweet, bless them.
Yeah,
Um,
big fan of
yeah,
Mr. and Mrs. F.
no, they're big fans of you. They were very
Mm,
glad to have you to stay.
it was lovely. The other big thing that we have not talked about is Kane's special episode. Gosh, we get a lot of
Yeah,
special episodes
we had a
of
lot of
late.
special episodes. Yeah, of course, because we had a sort of, what was it, like a three-hander with Graham, Kim, and was Dawn there as well?
She popped in, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Joe, I mean, Graham, Kim, and Joe.
Oh yes, that's
And
right.
then yeah, we had Kane. Actually, oh, I totally forgot. In that one where it was like a special episode on basically Graham and Joe's relationship, there was a quick shot of Joe as a teenager, and I want to get to the bottom of whether that's actually Ned Porteous as a teenager. And
I mean, it probably is.
I was gonna send a photo of it to my friend who went to school with Ned Porteous and be like, "Is this the boy you sat next to?" I forgot.
No,
So maybe
this
next
that's
week.
still time, still time.
There's still
I
time.
I love that you've got that friend.
Yeah, the Kane situation, I guess my main observations were it was very artistically shot. One of the first shots we saw was Armscliff Crag, which is a big
Hmm.
rocky outcrop kind of near like Wheaton and Hubie, which
It
is on
did
the
open
way
like a sort of like nature
to
documentary,
Harrogate.
didn't it?
Yeah, I know, it
Yeah.
was quite unusual. And I love going to the Crag. It's a really nice place to go. It's not in the Dales
Going
in the same way they're making it seem, but it is quite close to the Ono village, so
I just thought going to the crag sounds like someone who's like stumbled into a life of drugs. It's like, oh, they've gone to the crag. I'm sorry to say.
I'm very sorry to say they've gone the way of the Crag.
But no, it was beautiful. It was confusing. It felt very different from Emmerdale, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, but then they sort of segued from these beautiful nature documentary shots to what I can only assume is them trying to paint a picture of Leeds. They make Leeds look so desolate. Like they always just show shots of like the inner ring road. Like there are bits of Leeds that are quite nice, but I guess they wanted to be like Caleb belongs in the village, and now he's being made to go to a hospital. in the big
Do you mean
city.
Caleb? Or do you
I
mean
meant
Kane?
Kane, obviously.
Okay. I was just trying to remember if I'd seen him like visit his brother or something, but no,
No,
you didn't.
of course not. But yeah, as someone who has spent a significant amount of time, well, not significant, a bit of time recently in the oncology department of one of the hospitals in Leeds, it's not nearly that nice.
Not for
It's
yourself, we should say.
not for myself, no.
Yeah.
I have been there a few times with a friend of mine. Um, and in Emmerdale, they have a very fancy waiting room. There's free teas and coffees. I can tell you, I spent £3 on a peppermint tea at the cafe at St
Oh,
James's,
that's broken
and
Britain.
that's just a tea bag and water. So take that in. Um, no kind of fancy coffee machines. That
No.
consultant, like her office was lovely. The office of the consultant I went in felt very municipal. It's not like that. It's not like
It's
that at
not like
all.
that. Would that it were.
Would that it were, but the NHS, I
Some
guess, they need all the help they can get.
are on their knees. Yeah, the only way they're getting by is on overpriced mint tea. But I did think, picture the scene. You're like a jobbing actor, maybe like a Wasim Mirza type, by which I mean a jobbing actor, and you've got a little agent or something, and you get a phone call being like, "It worked. You got through the audition. You're going to be in a special episode of Emmerdale. You're going to be in. You're going to play guy that talks to Kane." It's like, oh my gosh, this is huge. You get
Huge.
there, and you're like, and the camera operator or director or someone is like, "So we're doing this weird thing where every single person in this is blurry except Kane." So your big starring moment, you've like gathered your family around to be like, "This is the day I'm on TV," and it's some like blurry apparition in the background. Wouldn't that be galling?
That would be really galling. And also, I wondered whether, so the man who talked in the waiting room, I think, was also outside the wool pack later with a bike, like halfway through a bike ride, stopping for a drink. I'm pretty sure it was him, or maybe they just doubled up on extras that week. And I thought that he was going to crop back up and be like, "Hey, how was the appointment?" But he didn't.
No, it's just doing a little sponsored cycle for cancer, maybe.
I guess so, yeah.
I did describe that man as the ghost of Christmas past in my notes. It's just there, being
Okay.
like, just being like very informational spiel and also the harbinger of doom. He's just like, yeah, the, the first time I got cancer was all right. But did you know you're 34% more likely to get rid of? I don't think he did that, but
It did feel informational. That is true.
yeah, and also like not what you want. I mean, it's nice that Kane was quite friendly to him, but yeah, I don't know. It's not what he needed. I've gone
No.
very croaky all of a sudden. Some sort of like
Yeah, are
sympathy.
you emotional about
He's
Kane?
really tearing up about Kane.
I did find it an emotional episode. I found it also quite tiring to watch, of like him just repeatedly not telling anybody anything, and you think you could you could share a bit more. But I think that is obviously the whole point of the episode, and being like, it's sometimes hard for people like him to let people in and be like, I'm struggling.
Yeah, and also when you look at your list of possible confidants, it's like, do you really want to have a deep and meaningful with Liam?
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that for some reason they are friends, so maybe he should.
Yeah,
And he
tricky,
does
tricky.
eventually. He did in yesterday's episode, didn't he? And I did think it was nice that he eventually told Sarah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was nice that he spoke to Sarah. I thought it was quite um, not fitting that she said, cancer is hardly something you fit into your lunch break, which is exactly how she approached her recent cancer. Do you remember when she just found out she had cancer? Was it? I can't remember which sort of cancer it was. Something to do with the pregnancy was discovered. She was like, yeah, I'll just get that sorted. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. That hasn't really hasn't really cropped up since. Yeah, that is an unusual one from her. I thought that she was like an apparition because she was off screen the whole time that
Mm.
he was saying, like, when he finally was like, "Oh, I'm not very well and I'm quite scared." She wasn't there. We just heard her voice, and he was next to a grave. And I just thought, I bet that this is like in his imagination or something. And I was so relieved when she was actually there.
Yeah, and that's the whole episode was in his imagination. We
Yeah,
don't
I guess
know.
it could have been. I don't know. None of us know. I found it unexpectedly emotional when the theme music didn't play. Just bird
That's true.
song.
That was quite like, oh, that's something. Um, when they
Something to
do
hold on
deploy
to.
that powerfully, I don't know if they have like variant themes because I know EastEnders has like Julia's theme, which they do for like really sad episodes.
Oh,
But
really?
but I don't know if Emmerdale does that. So I guess the silence is quite good.
Yeah.
Uh, and I thought it was strange when he finally saw Moira in prison and told her that it was cancer, but it wasn't a big deal, and they're just going to monitor it. It's like, are there any cancers where they're just like, we're not really worried, we're just going to leave that one?
No big deal. I mean, yeah, actually, that can be the case with prostate cancer if it's not that
Really?
bad.
Can it?
Or if, so my granddad had prostate cancer, but he was already quite ill with other stuff. And I think basically when you're like over 70 or something, you can just like have it at a low level and they're just a bit like,
Oh, that's good
sure,
to
you
know.
can take some, I can't remember what it is. They can treat it a bit just to keep like the levels down below a difficult level. I'm not a medical person, you can probably tell. I can't remember if he was like, I can't remember if he was taking pills or having injections or something, but there was something that was just a bit like, we're not super worried about this. If you just treat it like this, it'll keep it to a low enough level that it never really gets that worrying.
Or maybe they'll do that for Kane. Who
Yeah,
knows?
because I think they were just a bit like, if you're over 70, like, you have prostate cancer, that's just a fact of life.
Oh, that's
But
something
it's
to look
not a
forward
big
to.
deal.
Okay.
Yeah, enjoy it. I think they were just a bit like, it's not in like a stressful way.
Okay. But I guess how old is Kane? I'd say like late 50s?
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I don't think he would be in that category, but maybe he's just expecting Maura to believe that he would be.
Yeah. I mean, bless her, she has got a lot on her plate. How old is he? I think I may have aged him too high.
I think he is like 50.
55, okay.
There we go.
Weirdly, when you like Google him, the first image is, I don't know if you can see this, just like a floating head of him,
Oh
like on a
yeah,
white
gosh.
background.
That's the image that I have on a t-shirt of him actually.
Okay.
I bought it as a joke. It says Kane on it. It was from the old post office in Esholt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now you said this special episode was like Cancer Awareness Day or something.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe even World Cancer Awareness Day, I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. And I'm sure this will make an impact in far-flung parts of the world.
Yeah, Timbuktu. That's
Number
all they're
two.
talking about.
um, yeah, I do feel a bit sick of special episodes. Like they used to be once every couple years. And I remember I think I've mentioned before an episode about Ashley's dementia, which was a special episode, and because they hardly ever did special episodes, it was done so well, it was so powerful. Whereas, yeah, we've had like two this fortnight, if we're counting the three hander
Yeah,
as a special episode. We had the bear, the April, and whoever had the third one, I forget.
I don't know.
Special episodes. We had all of April's homeless special episode. We've had so many. I just like some episodes don't have to be special.
Some episodes can just be mundane. In fact, that's why we watch soaps.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It's hard because I do want people to be aware of the issues. Um, but there's
I
just
do
so many
think
issues to be aware of. It's relentless.
I'm almost just issues all day, every day. I'm just not sure. I think they could have the storyline without it needing a special episode, and people would still be aware of it. I don't
Yeah,
think you
that's
need a
true.
special episode.
You can make me aware of an episode without me having to watch 22 minutes of only that issue.
Yeah.
It's hard as well when it's like you feel like you get special episode fatigue because it's 50% being aware of the issues and 50% just being aware of Graham lying really still for 6 years. It's like I can only be aware of so many things.
And look, if I had to pick, it wouldn't be Graham.
I'd rather I had never become aware of Graham as a concept.
Oh my gosh. Right, I think I'm down to just like stray observations, but I do have quite a few.
I'm stray. Should we take it in turns to do our strays?
Yeah, please go for it.
Okay, my first one, all I've written is hot and pantry ready meals.
Okay. Is that the
But
name
that
of something?
yeah, it was when Ross was buying a ready meal was like, I need to replace Lewis's like anti ultra processed foods, which is good actually, I think.
Mhm.
Um
Need a special episode about ultra processed foods, please.
well, I feel like that was almost what they were trying to do. But Ross was just like, "Can I buy this to replace like the really organic, healthy one that Lewis bought?" And it was just like it just said hot and pantry ready meals, and it made me think. Actually, this is why I wrote it down. Do you think that they just buy like a normal ready meal from Asda or something, and then they have Emmerdale graphic designers who've like designed a sleeve and they slide it on and they're like, now it's a hot and pantry ready meal? And if so, how do I get that job? I would love to be a graphic designer on
Mm.
Emmerdale because I already, just in case anyone out there is listening, I already am a graphic designer and I really like Emmerdale, so I'd be good at that job.
Gosh, that was quite hard to hear. It was quite needy, but but yeah, no, they will have. I mean, they've got an art department who will do all those things, and I
Wow.
think the art departments are the great unsung heroes. I mean, we have criticized some of their work, e.g., the menu at the cafe that is just pictures of coffee from different angles. But generally, I think TV production, art production people, just like they're putting all the effort in, and it barely goes noticed, and that's why we're here because we're noticing.
Thank you. Yeah, we are people who notice more than most. So, yep, hot and pantry ready meals. What's your first stray?
Oh yeah, on that was another time when Tracy simply didn't care about any questions she's being asked in the shop. She's like, she's not there for customer service.
I found out that the actor who plays Tracy is also going on maternity leave soon.
Oh, she is, isn't she? Yeah,
They have hidden her pregnancy a lot better than Victoria's, I will say, because
that's
at one point
true.
Victoria was just holding a small tea towel in front of her belly.
I guess Tracy can be behind the counter, which helps.
Yeah, true.
Well, one of my stray things is about Victoria, actually, since you mentioned her. I did quite enjoy the scene where she was just like, Sugden's murder people. She was like, you've murdered people, Andy murdered people, I murdered people, John's murdered. Actually, I don't think Andy's murdered anyone. He's on the run for murder, but he didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Um, it's like, yeah, you might not even know that Robert killed Katie. I don't know if I can't remember if Victoria knows that. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and then she was like,
Yeah.
what if Harry gets that killing gene? It's like, well,
Like
okay,
he
maybe,
probably will. He lives
yeah,
in
he will kill
Emmerdale.
someone. Make your
It
peace with
happens.
it.
Yeah, I felt like there were two moments where it was almost like almost breaking the fourth wall of like that one where Victoria was like, "Hang on, everyone in my life is a murderer," and then in the hospital when that random bald man asked Kane like, "Oh, is cancer in your family?" and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, I guess like
Um,
my granddaughter, my wife, both my parents, all this." You're
we
like,
do get a cancer
yeah,
storyline every 4 to 6 months in our family. So yeah,
exactly. So I think yeah, two moments of actors realizing like maybe I'm in a soap. Maybe that's why bad things happen all the time.
it'd be fun if they did start referring to their issues as storylines. I might start doing that. Be like- um, yeah, well, I was thinking about the Sugden murderers, and whilst John is obviously painted as the big villain, I don't think he's. I think he's the only one who hasn't actually committed murder because he did only commit manslaughter, as far as I can remember. So
John?
yeah,
No.
who's he
Wait.
murdered?
Oh yeah, true. I guess he didn't mean to kill Nate. But he
No,
did
and
then
then
like go on a kind of murderous rampage and want to kill
he tried to
what's
kill
his
any
name?
number of people
Robert.
quite badly. Yeah, it's like he's a
Killed
very
them badly. Oh, wanted to badly.
yeah, he's bad at doing it.
I got killed really badly.
Yeah. Yeah, so in some ways he is the least villainous Sugden. In other ways he's not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess I would say Robert didn't really mean to kill Katie. It just like happened. He pushed her and didn't know that she was going to fall through a ceiling and break her neck.
That's true. And he didn't mean to kill whichever guy he killed who raped Victoria. I forget his name.
Oh, I forgot that he killed him.
Yeah. And possibly other people we don't remember. But there you go, that's my
The
stray
move.
highlight.
My next stray highlight is also on Victoria. It's that in her flat, I think she has a genuine angle point lamp, the red one.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was looking at it like, I don't think that's a dupe. It looks basically exactly the same as mine. I got mine secondhand, was really, really excited to find a secondhand one that was like only £40. Wild. And that one looks quite new, so that would have been pretty expensive, unless I
Oh.
too have been duped by the dupe.
Yeah, I mean, heaven knows where how Victoria saved up the money for anything based on going to work once a month, but maybe she did. I could see her being into it, a nice lamp.
Yeah, who's to say? Okay, great. That was quite a short stray one, but that
Yeah, I
was mine.
liked it. Um, we don't really seem to have followed up on this storyline of Laurel hitting Arthur, But it was interesting how fully pro hitting children Nicola was. She was
That was my next stray. I literally wrote down, like, Nicola says Arthur was asking for it.
Yeah, I wrote down Nicola as team hitting children.
Yeah, and then at the end of that interaction, Laurel was like, "Well, Nicola, I think you've been very kind." Like, no, she hasn't. She's been pro violence against children.
I mean, I do quite like the sort of genre of defending your friends' actions when they are completely indefensible, which
Yeah.
it's like an Instagram comedy thing I've seen quite often. Not pro hitting children myself, and also we know that the water supply in the village is tricky at the best of times, but Laura just emptied a whole bunch of drugs into it. Is that going to come back to bite anyone?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's already full of slurry, it might as well also be full of crack cocaine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very confused. Check with your Thames water person about what happens if you do put masses of opiates into the
Yeah,
water
that's a good
supply.
idea. I will say it's Yorkshire water because I do not live anywhere near you.
Oh, look, I can't be expected to remember where you live.
I can't be expected to remember that anybody in this country doesn't live on the River Thames.
I mean, Thames water does seem to cover the entire south of England, and we can't all live on the Thames.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess in a way you all do.
Yeah, I
The
suppose you're
south
right.
is just the River Thames.
That's why it's so wet. Finally got to the bottom of it.
Finally. My next one was just that when Marlon and Rona hugged, you really noticed the height difference.
Such a disparity.
Yeah, like it's actually crazy.
That was one of my favorite things about when Victoria was a chef at the pub, because Marlon was also a chef there, and she's like 5 foot and he's like 8 foot, and it was fun.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing really else to say about that. Just I think you can tell that Marlon's tall, but I don't think you can really tell from many shots that Rona isn't that tall.
No, I guess she's not like freakishly short.
No, she's
She's
not a
fine.
child.
Children are freakishly short. It's true. Um, I
It's
also
actually, yeah, it's horrible.
it's very disturbing. Oh, they'd be more disturbing if they emerged full adult size, I guess.
Well, that would be incredibly distressing, I imagine, for every mother.
I learnt the sign language for birth this week in my sign language
Mm.
class, and it really is just like sort of, obviously this is not a visual medium, but you're just like thrusting your arms out as though mimicking giving birth.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that feel as a man? Did it feel like cultural appropriation?
It felt like your culture is not my costume. I'm so sorry. Day is also like you do this again. No one else can see this, but you're sort of mimicking a sunrise with your arms. And so
Sweet.
birthday, you're going from one to the other in quite like a choreographed thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Um,
Birthday.
we've not had sign language awareness on Emmerdale yet. So if you need me, I've done 2 weeks of lessons. So if you want someone to come and just do greetings and the numbers, then I'm ready. But under a million, I can do up to 999,999.
That's nice. It's good that you're poised and ready.
um, Weirdly, I can do bus as well. So that was one of the ones we did. Anyway,
Mm,
um,
careful.
when it all came out about Celia and Ray, I liked how Bob was trying so hard to make it all about himself, and he was like so animated with like about him dating her, which he mentioned several different times, and then occasionally he's popped up to just comment on his own experience of this. And it's like, Bob, you're like even in this village, you're like maybe the 18th most affected person, let alone all the slaves we didn't never get to know about.
And I'm
Like,
not sure that Celia at any point would have been able to remember his name.
yeah, she did. For someone who was playing some sort of long con game, she like at no point hid her disgust at being around him.
What is that noise? Is that your stomach?
Oh, that's Harry's purring.
Oh, great.
Or
To
snoring,
me,
in
it's
fact.
just a burp.
Oh, really? Oh, that is. No, it's snoring. Actually, I'm sorry
That's
if
quite
everyone's.
sweet.
It's not. I can confirm, not my stomach.
Becoming more and more concerned about your sort of digestive tract at this stage.
I didn't know. It's thinking up. He is quite a loud snorer. Bless him.
Whose turn is it to do a stray?
Oh, yours. Yeah. Unless
Is it
unless your
mine?
unless your commentary on my stomach was your story.
It has been bothering me for 2 weeks now. I think I maybe said this last time, but it's still happening. I'm really loving the amount that they're using, like, the farm, Butler's farm outside. Lots of shots of that.
Mm,
People are walking
mm.
through the farm. There are cows. It feels really good. It feels earthy. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Nothing
it
else to
is
say,
nice.
really.
You're stolen the like has any farming content happened segment, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so true.
um, I just noted down Caleb's solicitor must have had such a lovely, peaceful life before Caleb moved to Emmerdale because he is always phoning that solicitor to go and defend some dingle in prison, usually someone who's
Yeah,
guilty.
so true. I wrote down actually Caleb has his solicitors on speed dial. He's like, I'll ring my solicitor. Boom, done.
Yeah, and you would need to,
So
wouldn't you?
quick.
And I guess I don't know how legal solicitors work. Maybe it is the same person you use for like the tiniest, pettiest crimes through to murder. But yeah,
Yeah, presumably not. Like they would all have different specialisms, right?
you'd think like I've got a few friends who are solicitors for really, really like minor things, but like none of them would take on murder cases. They're more just like unpaid parking fines or something.
Maybe I need one of those.
Do you want to segment into no, sorry, segue rather into that?
Yeah, so on Sunday I got pulled over for apparently not having any insurance on my car,
Mm,
which was stressful, I will say, being sat in the back of a
yeah.
police car. And he was being like, you do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may, or like don't say, might be in a court. I don't know. I don't know what he said. I was just like, what is going on? I felt like I was in an episode of Emmerdale. Turns out,
Yeah.
when I bought my car, I did ask Admiral to transfer my car insurance from my old car to my new one. And then I rang them and I was like, how come you've been insuring my old car, which I no longer own and has been scrapped? And they were like, oh yeah, we can see that you put in a request to transfer your insurance across. We never approved that request. It was always just pending and you should have noticed that.
They blamed you.
They blamed me, and now I have to get points on my license and a fine.
They should at least give you like some sort of like voucher for Debenhams or something. Oh, that doesn't exist
I know,
anymore. It's a
well, I
voucher for
lodged a
something.
complaint and they were just like, well, we'll let you off the £12 admin fee. I was like, great.
That's so bad because that's totally on them.
I know, but also maybe it's not because they did send me my documents and I did fail to notice that the registration plate was wrong on the documents.
Oh, look, no one
So,
reads documents, do they?
well, quite. And I'd had that old car for like 10 years. That to me was the right registration plate. I just forgot that it wasn't anymore. So, if anyone wants to like be my solicitor,
I can see why the police officer cautioned you not to say everything that came to mind because I'm not sure that's advice. But yeah, Caleb can get his sister on speed dial. Does it help you if you frame it as a storyline? If you're like, my current storyline
maybe.
is car insurance awareness.
Yeah, I'm in a car insurance storyline at the moment. It's actually World Insure Your Car Week, and make sure you read your renewal documents when they come through week. Um,
I've never even glanced at my renewal documents. Gosh,
exactly. I am still in two minds about I can basically either pay this fine and be like, sure, I'll get 6 points on my license, which is going to increase my insurance premium so
6.
much. I
Ooh.
know. Or I can appeal it and go to court and be like, in a way, this was my fault, but in a way, it actually really wasn't. And I don't know which one of those to do.
Oh gosh, that is hard.
So yeah, if anybody has any legal advice for me, um, or graphic design jobs are the
Have
two
some
things I'm
dignity,
asking
woman,
for
please.
in this week's episode. I have dignity. I just also know how to ask for help when I need it, unlike Kane, and by the sounds of it, you.
That's true. Gosh, well, I'm trying to think what help I do need to ask on this podcast now that you put me on the spot. I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Do you want to share your other vehicle-related news?
Do I have other vehicle related news?
You sent me a photo.
Oh my word, so true. I was about to be like, well, they impounded my car, but I got it back. Um, yeah, when my car was impounded, was cycling down to the post office to sort some paperwork so that I could get my car out. That was, by the way, the consequence of the insurance thing, not a separate crime. And yeah, was cycling down to the post office and saw a car and it said Houghton Taxi on it. And I was like, what? Like, Houghton must be a real place because there's a taxi that says it. And I Googled it and everything was just like Houghton is a fictional town in the Emmerdale universe. And so I saw that it had, like, a number on it being like, "Book this taxi," so I just rang the number and it didn't connect, and I was like, "I think I'm seeing a taxi from Emmerdale just parked on a side street near my house," and it's been there, a couple of times this week, and I wonder if, like, does someone from Emmerdale, like, live there and they just get to take the car home as, like, a company car? So I don't know what's going on there. I was thinking I might leave a note on the windscreen, be like, "Can we get to the bottom of this, please?"
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, also quite wild because you'd think if they are just parking out randomly, people are going to phone that number because they think it's a real taxi. If they're like, "Oh, I'll pop that number on my phone for next time I need a taxi or something," I don't know. But
Yeah, does anyone actually do that, though?
I, I don't know. I've never taken a taxi, so I couldn't
You've
tell you.
never taken a taxi?
I've
What?
been in a couple of times. I've been in taxis that other people have booked, but I've never booked a taxi. I just walk long
Wow,
distances, I guess. So,
crazy. What about, like, when you're going to the airport or the station?
I did get an Uber last time I went to the airport, but
That
generally I
sounds a
just get.
lot like a taxi.
Well, yeah, I guess if we're splitting hairs, but generally, basically, generally, there's an airport bus from Oxford, so I always just get the airport
Oh,
bus. Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, so watch this space because I might try and, like, find out who they are and what their story is. Maybe they'll be on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it would be funny if it is just like someone's car's broken down in the cast, and they're like, "Oh, I can't. So I'm finding it hard to get to and from work." And they're like, "Oh, do you want to borrow the prop car?" So maybe like a
Yeah,
cast member lives near you.
maybe. It is a nice car, it's an MG.
I don't know what that means, but I'm glad for them.
Great.
An MG. I've never heard of an MG.
You've never heard of an MG? Have you grown up in England or not?
I don't. I don't see cars.
How progressive of you.
Yeah, no, I've heard of some types of cars. There we go.
And that's what you'll be telling the insurance when you go to court.
Somebody did ask me a while ago what my car was, and I couldn't remember, so I had to ask somebody else what car I drove. So,
That's
whereas
difficult.
now I can tell you it is a Vauxhall Viva. Live the Viva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it wouldn't make any difference to you if you did check your insurance renewal documents or not. You'd just be like, "Sounds like a car."
Yeah, it definitely could have been. It could be my car. It's a car. Oh dear. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
just so
dear.
uninterested in cars, but they do help you get from A to B, I suppose.
Do in a way. Have you got any more strays?
I've got one more,
I've
which
got one more. We're
oh
so
my
in
gosh, we're so
tune.
in sync. Uh, Kim said at one point, and I forget what it was in reference to, I wish I was, which answers my question of which characters would correctly use the subjunctive, because she should be saying, I wish I were. I was like, Kim, I feel like
Mm.
would know to use the subjunctive,
It's
but
a shame that the scriptwriters don't.
other people I wouldn't expect it from. But Kim, I used to find this on Neighbours all the time. They'd always use you and I, even when it should be you and me, including like English teachers in the show. It's like an English teacher knows how to use you and me or you and I correctly. So,
You would hope. You would think better of her. Who else do you think
yeah.
would know how to use the subjunctive? Liam?
Liam, oh my gosh, Liam loves subjunctive. I
I'm
bet
sure.
he can do it in Latin as well. I I'd back like Rona to use subjunctive correctly.
Yeah,
Um, and then maybe that's it. Maybe
maybe
like
that's it.
Gabby would probably try but get it wrong
I think
occasionally.
Gabby might just slip into being like, "It was myself."
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm trying so hard to better myself, but it just simply can't happen. But yeah,
Yeah,
but no, I think it's a
gosh.
subjunctive free zone most of the time.
Oh, that's so sad for the village. Well, I guess when we're there on our tour, we will just relentlessly be using the subjunctive
Just
correctly.
some grammar tips out and about. I was I was always very impressed that Beyonce correctly is a subjunctive in If I Were a Boy, you know. So
Mm.
if we can't learn it from Beyonce, what can we learn?
Isn't it just one of those things that sounds wrong to people? As in, like, if she were to sing "If I Was a Boy," that would sound wrong.
But then Alicia Zatic sang I Wish I Was You. So
Yeah, much to digest. It's like when you said about, in the end of Amazing Grace, when you
mm,
sing "There's no less days to sing God's praise," like, it should really be there's no fewer days to sing God's praise than when
And I
we
do
first
always
began.
sing fewer
Oh,
when I
that's
sing
lovely.
that because I'm not I'm not singing imperfect grammar for anyone.
And how do you think that will change in the new creation for yourself? And
Such a
I
good
did just
question.
use yourself
For yourself.
ironically. I
Yeah.
know it's wrong. Just very traitors coded.
Very traders coded. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question, I'm sorry to say, but it probably won't be top of mind, I suppose.
It's like
We do
church unity versus grammar. Which
There
one's
is
high for you
another
guys?
church worship song which has the word unexplainable in, and I do always sing inexplicable for that. So
Is that the song Indescribable?
that's the one.
Because for a song about how hard it is to describe God, it does have a lot of words.
It's really giving it a go.
It's trying hard.
I wonder if we've
Oh,
wandered too far from Emmerdale
yeah, I
currently.
think we have. Um, okay, my final stray highlight is I don't think that was Portuguese pottery that Gabby brought back and got smashed. I know Portuguese pottery.
You know the sound of smashing pottery. Do we see
Well,
it?
we saw it. They were like sort of holding it on the kitchen work surface and trying to put it back together in a way. Um,
Oh,
but
I
yeah,
missed
it
that.
looked like it was just like slip cast and then they'd printed a design on it. So that's a shame.
Tricky, but she might have been
Yeah.
missold it in Portugal, I guess, by some chancer.
Yeah, that's also true. I did see some pottery like that in Greece
She
and also in
travels.
sort of like Dunelm. So
I'm often on my phone during Emmerdale, I'll admit, so I did miss when we actually visually saw it.
I just get so scared that we're going to come to a podcast episode and I'm going to have nothing to say that I actually have started devoting almost my full attention to Emmerdale when I'm watching it. It's
That's more they can
crazy.
expect. Gosh, well, we already wouldn't have anything to say on this episode, and we've gone over an hour, and arguably at least 50% of it's not been about Emmerdale, but
Yeah, and I'm meant to be meeting my friend in 10 minutes.
oh right, well we
But
need to do our name person, so your friend can wait. I'm also meant to be driving to Wanted.
why on earth are you driving to Wanted of all places?
There's a really, really good secondhand bookshop, and my friend and I are going secondhand book shopping together.
That's
Isn't that
nice.
wholesome? So links into Potterygate. It is Gabby.
Gabby, who we don't know anything about. We don't even know where she works.
No.
I guess we do know that she has seemingly forgotten all about Vinny. Although we haven't seen Vinny in years. Is Vinny still alive?
He's holding his breath somewhere, don't worry. Um, yeah, isn't that funny that that was such a big storyline and that she doesn't give him a moment's thought ever since? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, she's one of the characters. I think the character has been in there since birth. Obviously, not same actor the whole time, but I think she has been there since 2001, 2002, maybe.
that's a pretty big
Um,
deal.
yeah, and managed to cling on despite both her parents leaving the show, which is nice. And has that
And
sort of
her
quite
best
love
friend Liv
and her best
as
friend
well.
Liv. And they obviously have tried to do like occasional reinvention of her because when I was watching before, she was just like bratty teenager or maybe
Mm.
preteen at that point, um, and didn't really have any storylines other than sulking. And then when I came back, she'd been re-envisioned as like a businesswoman of business, as mentioned. But yeah, I'd like her to have like. And we were glad that the Vinny thing didn't really happen, but it'd be nice if she was part of a more stable couple. But I don't know who it would be with.
I mean, could it be with Cammy?
They have sort of hinted that, but she, I just don't. I don't know if that's a good idea. But maybe,
Maybe. Oh,
like,
I
he
don't know.
could be quite
I
fun
want
because
Cammy
she's
to
quite
be with
serious.
Belle. Yeah, I think Cammy and Belle would be better.
Well, he was on the Inside Soap podcast this week, and he said he'd like Cammy to end up with Charity, which I quite appreciated. So, um,
I can kind of see that. I think that'd be hilarious.
it would be funny. I mean, what like a 30-year age gap or something, which is upsetting, but
Yeah, and he also went out with her granddaughter.
it's unusual. Um, but yeah, I like Gabby's relationship with Laurel and with Kim. I like and with Bernice when she pops by. I like that they bring out different things in her. That she does have this quite complex, multifaceted character that just comes of having been built up for 20 plus years. Um, And I sort of, but we said with Verona last time, you just don't really know how she'll react. I feel like you do know how Gabby will react to anything
Yeah,
in a good
true.
way. She's quite like, yeah, which I think is good, and it's quite, and she will react in quite a nuanced way. But you can sort of, you'll be like, yeah, that's what Gabby would do, and I like that.
Yeah, she's quite consistently Gabby, which can't be said for many other characters. Um, I would like to see more of her relationship with Laurel because I feel like, as you say,
Mm,
she doesn't have like many close relationships in the village. But Laurel did basically raise her.
yeah, and I wouldn't. I mean, do I want this? I don't know when she last looked at her son. But it'd be like, maybe she should pay
I mean, they were
some more
just in
attention.
Portugal together.
She was carrying him through the door, wasn't she? So that was nice.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Other than that,
She just love to go on foreign holidays.
she loves to go on foreign holidays.
Maybe she slept with someone else in
Oh
Portugal.
yeah, why
So
is she always in Portugal? Do they have a house there?
does Bernice live in Portugal? Eh,
No, but maybe.
maybe.
Yes, because do you remember when she slept with the guy before? It was when she was visiting Bernice.
That's right, because Bernice knew all about it. Maybe
Mm.
she's got back together with that guy, the random guy on the
Yeah,
beach.
maybe. Can't hurt. Could hurt.
Could hurt. Yeah, give Gabby some more stories. I like it when she does a sort of like sharp comedy. She's quite like no nonsense and funny at times, which I think she does well.
Mm.
So a bit more of that would be nice. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Sorry, I
happy to
don't
keep
feel like I have
Gabby.
much to say about Gabby, but when I have been watching older episodes, it has been nice to see her as a teenager and be like, oh, that's. We say it a lot. I love how Emmerdale keeps their actors long term.
Mm-mm. Because she could be the ones you'd easily have thought, oh, we better axe her now that both her parents have left the show. But and I'm glad they tried to find another place for her in the show rather than doing that.
Yeah, no, it's good
Yeah.
for sure.
And she's got a great surname, so
Thomas, so true.
Thomas. Thomas,
Yeah,
it's a great one.
it's a great one. You wear it with pride. Are
Thank you.
you related to Gabby in any way, or?
Oh my gosh! Well, my dad was a vicar. Her dad was a vicar, so probably.
Oh my word, is your dad Ashley?
My dad is dead, Ashley. No, my dad is very much alive and has never been accused of elder
This is the
abuse.
second time we've talked about him maybe dying.
Is it?
When you
The
were
first
like,
one.
"Oh yeah, someone I loved came back from the dead," like my dad. Dot dot dot.
Oh, that's true. In which case, he's very much alive and has never even gone through a brief sojourn of dying. So
He's never even held his breath for that long.
he doesn't seem the
Been
type.
laid very, very still.
He does like to lie still sometimes.
It's something he's got into in his retirement.
Oh dear. Well, people have heard him. He's done voice notes for the podcast before. So.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true. Signs of life.
Yes, proof if proof were needed. You covered some of the farming earlier that we've seen some farm shots. Has there been actually any farming activity?
I don't know. As in they've been like walking through and looking at cows and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know who's looking after all the farm work.
Yeah, me too, actually, because yeah, Moira's in prison and Kane's on death's door.
And Matty is useless, it seems. Matty's just constantly crying. But you know.
I wonder whether Robert will work quite a lot harder now because he feels bad. Guilt work, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he will, yeah.
We'll
That's
see.
nice. We'll see if there's any
Yeah,
more of
it's
that.
lovely.
Yeah, do get in touch at dinglealltheway.pod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, we do.
You can find us, well, you're already listening to us, but you can find us on YouTube now. I keep telling people that. It's exciting. I've started commenting on Emmerdale
Yeah.
videos in our YouTube account in case
Oh,
that leads to
bless
anything.
you. Does
On the
anyone
most
watch us
recent
on YouTube?
yeah, we're getting like 60 or so views on each one at the
Wow,
moment, but who knows what counts
fair.
as a view. Yeah. Well, we better both go.
Nice.
We've both got to go to our respective friends.
Yeah, well, have fun in Wantage.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.